Viewers, even as the credibility of the Delhi police was being shredded apart by left-green Lutyens lobby, and of course the opposition, the embattled force has reacted in self-defense. Earlier in the day, the Delhi police held a detailed press conference. In the nearly 45-minute long exhaustive defense of the arrest of Disha Ravi, the police painfully listed out what it called was proof against the young activist and her alleged co-conspirators. The police have, by their own admission, unearthed digital links that connect the accused to Khalistan incendiaries and sympathizers. At least two of Disha's alleged co-conspirators are untraceable. That's what the police tells us. Here's the Delhi police in its own words, giving you a brief outline of their case and the justification for arresting a young woman from Bengaluru.
The initial examination of Nikita revealed that she and her associate Shantanu and Disha had created the toolkit Google document. The email account created by Shantanu is the owner of this document and all others are its editor. On 11th January, Nikita and Shantanu attended a Zoom meeting organized by Poetic Justice Foundation in which the modalities of the Global Day of Action were worked out. Based on the course of action decided in the Zoom meeting, Nikita, Shantanu, Disha and others collaborated towards the draft of the toolkit.
Now viewers, let me just give you a sense really of how this plays out. The main individuals responsible and who the police believe is the mastermind. According to them, the mastermind is an individual called Mo Dhaliwal. There you can see it. Let's go full frame. There you can see it on your screen. So Mo Dhaliwal, viewers, is the main conspirator. And then he is in touch with individuals like Nikita Jacob and Shantanu. If we just move the graphic up a little bit, Nizam Bhai, we'll get a better idea of what it says clearly. Shantanu allegedly authored the toolkit on Google Documents, and Nikita co-authored the toolkit and orchestrated, according to the police, the tweet storm on Republic Day. So both these individuals were then asked to prepare this particular toolkit on a very important upcoming event like India's Republic Day. There are two other individuals that have been drawn into this. Disha Ravi, who is arrested, is accused of editing the anti-India toolkit on 3rd of February. And there's a man called Peter Friedrich, who made the plan to propagate the hashtag that was going to mobilize this entire alleged conspiracy against a elected government, legitimately elected government. That's what the police say. Now, they've adduced a series of what they claim are varied evidence. Let's put it like that. And let's go over this proof that the police is alluding to. The first proof of this massive conspiracy, they say, is an 11th January 2021 meeting over Zoom, which was conducted by the PJF, the Poetic Justice Foundation Forum, call it what you want to. This particular forum is run by a man called Mo Dhaliwal, who is a self-professed Khalistani sympathizer, and he was introduced to others who attended. There were 70 others who attended this particular Zoom meet. Shantanu, Nikita, and we are told also that the toolkit that was formulated and the outline of which was dispensed to Shantanu and Nikita to write, was then sent out to Disha. And all of this, of course, took place. This entire idea was germinated in that 11th Jan 2021 meeting over Zoom. Listen to what the police says about this Zoom meeting.
On 11th January, Nikita and Shantanu, I repeat, on 11th January, Nikita and Shantanu attended a Zoom meeting organized by Poetic Justice Foundation, in which the modalities of the Global Day of Action were worked out.
Yes, Global Day of Action were worked out, and that Global Day coincided with the run-up to India's Republic Day. The second proof made public by the police is a WhatsApp chat between Disha and Greta Thunberg. Now, in this WhatsApp, there is a conversation that is taking place. Disha asked Greta to delete the incriminating toolkit. Remember, viewers, Greta, by mistake, that's what is assumed, put out this toolkit, tweeted it from her own handle, and then deleted it subsequently. Disha messages Greta to say, can you not tweet the toolkit at all? Can we just not say anything for a while? The next message, I'm going to talk to lawyers. I'm sorry, but our names are on this toolkit. We can literally get UAPA against us. So Disha acknowledges that there is enough inflammatory material in that toolkit to get her into serious trouble. And I presume she's referring to some of the others who were identified by name in that toolkit. So Greta Thunberg, whether it was a mistake, whether it was done deliberately, we don't know, only Greta can tell us that, but she definitely uploaded that toolkit on her Twitter handle. It went viral, viewers. A large number of people began to read that particular toolkit, and then Disha messages Greta right after saying, remove this, please take it off, let's not say anything, this can get us into a lot of trouble. Now listen to what the police have to say about this, because the charge is that Disha asked Greta to delete the incriminating toolkit, which tells you that Disha knew about the inflammatory nature and perhaps even the illegal nature of this toolkit. That's what the police are saying. Listen in.
और यह भी बात निकल के आई कि एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप से जुड़े थे ये सभी, जो कि 6 दिसंबर को क्रिएट किया गया था। दिशा की जो फ्रेंड फ्राइडे फॉर फ्यूचर नामक पर्यावरण आंदोलन से जुड़ी हैं, उसने ही ग्रेटा थनबर्ग को टेलीग्राम पर यह टूल किट भेजी है। फ़ोन का काफ़ी डेटा डिलीट किया जा चुका है और दिशा के टेलीग्राम चैट से यह भी बात पता चलती है कि 3 फरवरी को ओनर्स राइट लेकर टूल किट डॉक्यूमेंट से जुड़े अकाउंट और लिंक हटा दिए गए हैं।
That was Premnath, the Joint Commissioner of Police, who held that press conference. The third bit of evidence that the police is alluding to is Google and email trails. They say that the toolkit was scripted on a Google document allegedly by Shantanu, who is untraceable as of now. Shantanu and Nikita scripted it and then mailed it to Disha so that Disha and others could spread it internationally to influencers and people they perhaps were acquainted with. And the charge is that the toolkit was produced to defame India globally over the 3 farm laws. Not just India, but the government at the center, which is democratically, legitimately elected government of Narendra Modi. Let's listen in to what the police had to say about these emails.
The initial examination of Nikita revealed that she and her associate Shantanu and Disha had created the toolkit Google document.
The role of Disha in editing and authoring the toolkit is also under the scanner. The police say that Disha shared it with Greta, asking her to tweet it. The fact is, the police claim Disha allegedly edited and added to the toolkit unverified information, a huge number of falsehoods that ran the risk, viewers, of defaming the government at the center and, of course, prompting a backlash against the center. There were several references that have been made by the police in their statement to the kind of inflammatory material injected allegedly by Disha at the behest, perhaps, of the masterminds. Listen to what the police had to say about the co-authorship of Disha of this toolkit.
The initial examination of Nikita revealed that she and her associate Shantanu and Disha had created the toolkit Google document. The email account created by Shantanu is the owner of this document and all others are its editor. A woman named Puneet, who is based in Canada, connected these people to the Pro Khalistani Poetic Justice Foundation.
Now, the police are also alleging they find very suspicious that Disha was trying to delete digital evidence trail. They said, why would she be doing it if, in fact, she thought that the entire toolkit was benign as such? Disha was using Telegram to connect with Greta. Disha deleted a group, a WhatsApp group she created to spread the toolkit. Clear indication that she was trying to cover her tracks. This is what Premnath, the Joint Commissioner of Delhi Police, said.
We acted against Disha because she has deleted a WhatsApp group which she created to coordinate among the various members for the toolkit.
Now remember, the police viewers are saying that Shantanu is an individual who authored this particular toolkit with Nikita. Shantanu remains untraced. We're getting information that his brother is connected with the Shiv Sena. That's what we are being told. Let's go out to that news which is breaking right now. So quite clearly, investigators are looking at political linkages. Delhi police justifies Disha's arrest. That was at a press conference. Sources are telling Times Now that Shantanu is missing, and Shantanu's kin and Sena Neta's response. Dictatorship must stop. That's what the Sena Neta is saying. He apparently is related to Shantanu. And Sachin Muluk has alleged conspiracy. Let's get more on this. We're going across to Kajal also and our other reporters. But before that, let's listen into what this Shiv Sena leader is saying. Obviously, coming out and slamming the Modi government. As you know, the Shiv Sena no longer in the same ideological or perhaps in any way sees itself as an ally of the BJP, sees itself as an antagonist, and coming out and attacking the Modi government, coming clean also on a relationship with Shantanu. Listen to this.
शंतनू हा पर्यावरणावर काम करणारा युवक आहे आणि दिल्लीतील जे शेतकरी आंदोलन चालू आहे त्या आंदोलनाला त्याचा पूर्ण पाठिंबा होता. आता एका आंदोलनाला पाठिंबा देणं हा जर गुन्हा असेल आणि शेतकऱ्यांसाठी लढणं हा जर गुन्हा असेल तर ही केंद्र सरकारची दडपशाही आहे. हे नक्कीच कुठंतरी तरुणांचा आवाज दाबण्याचा हा प्रयत्न जनतेनं शेतकऱ्यांनी हाणून पाडला पाहिजे. आज या मुलांचं भविष्य अशा काही घटनांमुळे बर्बाद होऊ शकतं याचाही विचार गांभीर्यानं करणं गरजेचं आहे.
Very quickly, Kajal, the Shiv Sena coming out and taking up cudgels on behalf of Shantanu after it turns out that Shantanu is related to a Shiv Sena leader. Obviously, the BJP is now trying to suggest that all these actors have political roots and that they are militated against the government at the center and therefore saw some political benefit in putting out this toolkit. Kajal, if you're there. Can you hear me? Okay, I think we've lost her. Let's open this up, viewers. Let's open this up. I'll get you, Kajal, in just a few moments. We're going to try and track the reactions, but let's open this up. Important voices with us, and I want to begin first with Dr. Sumansi Raman. Dr. Raman, you know, the obvious question comes up in everyone's mind after this particular press conference by the police. Has the lobby and the opposition once again jumped the gun, perhaps to describe the arrest of Disha Ravi as an attempt to muzzle dissent by not examining the detailed allegations against her? Of course, you know, there is a larger case to be made out for whether the person should be persecuted for free speech, etc., but that's a slightly different story. In this particular case, the Delhi police coming out with proof to suggest that Disha Ravi was part of an attempt to malign a democratically elected government, that there was a lot of incriminating material that was recovered from her, and the due process was followed in then securing her custody, and that there have been instances of her trying to destroy digital evidence, etc., etc., and was one of the authors and was liaising with Khalistani elements. Now, how do you respond to this new bit of information? Perhaps, as the BJP says and others are saying, you could have not tried to influence the probe by suggesting that there was, that's what the BJP says, that there is a witch hunt, etc., etc. Is that what you're doing?
Rahul,
Yeah.
Rahul, first of all, I think it's a very, very sad day for everyone here, for the simple reason that you have spent 20 minutes, I think about 14, 15 minutes, explaining various terms about a conspiracy, touch with diabolical intentions and all that. But you have simply not, neither you nor the police, have exactly said what he had in that toolkit, which was a publicly available document, that was A, threatening violence or encouraging violence or against the interests of the country. Now that has not been said. And it is scary, Rahul, because this can happen to anybody. This can just about happen to anybody. Anybody who puts out a publicly available tweet, a document which is available on Google, which is publicly shared by many, and she is not the only one who would have shared this. I'm sure there would have been others too. Now, putting the English language allows us to say all kinds of things. Conspirator. Conspiring to do what, for God's sake? You haven't mentioned. Was she threatening to blow up some place? Was she threatening to launch an attack somewhere? What was the threat? And this is the point that is of concern. Because with terms like conspiring, now anybody can be accused of conspiring for anything. Because these are public documents. Let's be very clear, Rahul. Disha Ravi is not the target. The target is every activist in this country, every youngster in this country who is raising his voice, whether it is for environmental issues, whether it is for the farmers, or for any other issue that the government does not want a differing opinion on. Period. Let's not even kid ourselves on this. Disha Ravi is basically to be made an example of. Munawar Farooqi is to be made an example of. And tomorrow, somebody else will be made an example of. And the idea is to send a very strong message to the youth of this country and to activists, environmentalists, and everybody else. Dare you speak up, you will face this.
Okay, so let me just put it on record that every word that I've used has been preceded by the word alleged, police claims, and according to the police in its press conference, it said X, Y, and Z adduced A, B, C, D fact. There's also a very elaborate statement, viewers, that has been put out by the police. 1 second, listen, 1 minute, don't heckle me.
Rahul, you're not mentioning
1
the
second,
key point.
don't heckle me. Okay?
I'm just asking a
No,
simple
please
question.
maintain decorum. You have made your charge. I'm not the police. I'm a journalist reporting what the police has said. You have a problem with that? Don't read the
Not at
newspaper
all.
tomorrow. You have a problem with that? Don't open your Twitter feed. You have a problem with that? Don't be on a debate. Okay? I'm only putting out, sir, the facts that the police have said. You can disagree with them. I may not entirely agree with them. I'm not bringing my opinion to bear on this. Please understand. I'm only elucidating on what has been put out by the police, which is my job. If you don't think that's my job, well, sir, then we are not on the same planet of...
But shouldn't you be asking the police what the conspiracy was for?
Excuse me, sir. That
As a
question was...
journalist,
Excuse
should you not
me.
be asking?
Excuse me. Don't jump to conclusions. You have a habit, a very bad habit. How do you know what questions were asked? And we have asked a question. We are going to break that exact information that you are so seeking, sir, on why the police only or merely issued summons to the other farm leaders, and why have they arrested Disha? So summons were issued to various actors under 160 CRPC. Nikunj Garg will be joining me. He has asked that question. The police have supplied an answer. Hold your horses. I only asked you a question. Don't get so defensive, right? Now, give me some
not
time.
getting defensive
Let me.
at
The
all.
story is not ended. Neither is the show ended. So, hold your horses, sir. It's not an easy situation. There are many young people in this country who can get into trouble. We all understand the situation. No one here wants a person who is innocent to go to jail. That would be the last thing we would want, especially someone who is a climate activist trying to secure all our futures. So please, hold your horses. Don't be so quick to tar people either which way, with an incriminatory brush or with the brush of innocence. So just hold your horses. We're still in a orderly country with some law. Relax. The police have come out. They made a statement. We can ask questions on that statement. I'm willing to engage you on that. No problems. Okay? But I'm sick and tired of you alluding motives to people and trying to suggest that I'm some, Sherlock Holmes.
Nobody is alluding motives.
No, whatever.
Nobody is alluding
I
motives.
understand, Dr. Sumansi Raman. I don't know what your frustrations are in life.
There
But,
are no
see a shrink,
frustrations, sir.
do whatever you have to do. But stop, I'm sorry to say,
No,
but
abuse.
pouring bile every evening on me personally. I'll probably get ulcers
not
and die
pouring
tomorrow
any bile
because
on
of the
you.
crude.
I'm only questioning
And
what
I
the
actually
Delhi
go home.
police
I
have
actually
put out
go home
today.
very worried for my health because I don't know. You might even have a voodoo doll of me behind you, which you might be putting, some pin on.
No, Rahul,
and you
Rahul,
might be
that's
doing
not
it.
important, sorry.
You might be doing it on a very religious basis. So please, now just calm down. Okay? My point is, viewers, this is what the police has said. Nikunj Garg reporting. Nikunj Garg asked a very important question. Has there been selectivity in the action that has been taken? We're going to break that. Nikunj is there with us. Nizam bhai, is he there? That's right. He's there. Delhi police justifies Disha's arrest. They say that her arrest was okay. Yes, we issued 160 notices under CRPC, or notice under 160 of the CRPC, which is initially a summons really for individuals to produce themselves. But in this case, we went a step ahead and arrested her. Why? Nikunj, tell me, what is the difference in the approach here and how is the police justifying it? People are shocked that a 22-year-old has been picked up from her residence, brought to Delhi, etc., etc. She broke down in court. We saw all of that. Why would they have done this?
Well, Rahul, precisely because there is much consternation about the manner in which the Delhi police arrested her, first of all, and the way they proceeded with this particular case in comparison to other cases, but also cases of conspiracy and causing disaffection against the state, which have been registered by the same unit of Delhi police, that this question had to be asked. And I asked this pointed question to the top officials of the Delhi police, and they have a version. That version may only be law enforcement's version, but it is our journalistic duty to inform the viewers about their version. And that version goes something like this, that we started this case just as like any other regular, usual investigation. We went and interrogated Miss Nikita for a number of hours at her residence, showed her the official papers. In the police and law enforcement parlance, there is a term used, bounden. She was bounded to those documents. They stopped their search after the sunset. They say we were under no obligation to stop our searches, but we still stopped at sundown. And at that point, she signed those papers and agreed to appear again in front of the law enforcers next morning. Next morning, according to the police, she absconds, but polite term being used is makes herself unavailable. Of course, she also has a version. She says she did nothing like that. Other two individuals, Shantanu and one more individual, are again absconding according to the police. And therefore, they say, in the interim, they have only one, this climate activist, young, bright woman, many would say, to whom they wish to interrogate. And while they wish to interrogate her, she takes the, according to them, drastic step of destroying evidence in terms of deleting whatever cyber data or cyber material that they could have recovered. And therefore, they say, it is the claim of the police that it was the investigating officer's prerogative to decide whether to effect an arrest or to serve her summons. The investigating officer at that moment decided, now that the girl is indulging in destruction of evidence, and now she's the only link, according to the, remember, they are probing a conspiracy case. And remember, Rahul,
right,
when you have registered delivered an FIR or a case under such grievous sections as conspiracy and causing disaffection against the state, there is very little elbow room. At some point of time or other, you will have to effect arrests. So the IO decided that she has to be arrested. Local police was duly informed. Her mother was made to sign the documents. She duly signed the documents. She was also given time to inform her lawyers, and post whatever followed in the courtroom, they say, is between the court and the client. It has nothing to do with them.
Okay, so this is a statement. The main aim of the toolkit was to create misinformation and disaffection against the lawfully enacted government. The toolkit sought to artificially amplify the fake news and other falsehoods, and also sought to precipitate action on 26 January. This is what the police is saying. And they also said this information in Bengaluru, the team examined Disha and was able to extract highly incriminating information from her phone. This information made it clear that Disha, along with her colleague Shantanu and Nikita Jacob, created and sent the toolkit Google document to others. Disha, who is associated with the environmental movement called Fridays for Future, sent the toolkit document to Greta Thunberg on Telegram and also coaxed her to act on it. The aim of the toolkit was to create misinformation, and they also say that this incriminating information was found. Now, I want to bring in Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. Dr. Trivedi, I want to ask you a basic question here. By describing Disha as an anti-national, even before anything has been proven against her, has the BJP and others who are perhaps supportive of you and your stand maligned her individual image purely based on claims? And do you believe that the police could have merely questioned her at least to ascertain the facts before they effected this arrest? Absolutely. Has it been an overreaction?
The police is going strictly in accordance with the law. Whatever there in the toolkit clearly exposes that whatever happened on 26th of January was nothing but a well-planned, executed conspiracy. One thing, Suman Ramanji was saying, despite the word conspiracy is there, we have to look for what conspiracy, okay? Despite the word farmer genocide in India. Farmer genocide is happening in India. Okay, then there is no problem. Modi for genocide, there is no problem. Sir, and he has used a word that they want to set an example. Sir, I want to ask, Lata Mangeshkar और सचिन तेंदुलकर पे क्या एग्जाम्पल सेटअप किया था? यहाँ कॉन्स्पिरेसी वर्ड ही नहीं था. गजब है साहब, वहाँ पे चुप थे. No word at all.
दिशा रवि क्या खालिस्तानी है? दिशा रवि क्या खालिस्तानी है? सुधांशु त्रिवेदी की 21 साल की लड़की से इतना डर लगता है?
But the problem is there. Actually, Rahul, I would like to say, the problem is not with Disha. The Congress problem is different. Since they have to prove a 50-year person as young, so they have to prove that 21-year boy or girl is a bacha. तो ये उनका अपना प्रॉब्लम है. एंड बाय डूइंग दिस आई वुड लाइक टू रिमाइंड वन थिंग, ये 21 साल से 18 साल किसने की थी वोटिंग एज?
No, that's fine. My question was that did you have you jumped the gun in defining her as an anti-national very quickly? No, Dr. Trivedi, the big question that is arising today. Okay, one second. Dr. Trivedi, the big question is quickly an answer to this, that you have jumped the gun by describing her as an anti-national even before the police or anyone else, or at least the courts, have been able to substantiate this.
Okay. Those who are putting an allegation, number one, anybody is an alleged person. After the subsequent clearance from the court, it can be done. Okay.
Okay, one second. Let's keep the rhetoric. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, where do you come in on this? Dr. Ranganathan, let me bring him in. 1 second. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, where do you come in on this, please? Okay.
Do you accept it?
That's fine. We'll come to the rhetoric. Let me get in Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Please, everyone. Yes. Let's keep it orderly tonight. Please. Yes, Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Rahul. You know, you have the right to be a silly anarchist, but not the right to accept money from or working with banned terror outfits, if that turns out to be the case post-investigation. Being dense, dopey, unemployable, brainwashed, peddler of lies, irrational, unscientific, illogical is not a crime. If it were, all our prisons would be filled with communists. Second, calling yourself an environmental activist even as you support those who are mindlessly pumping pesticides into our crop Emptying out our land of all water, turning our atmosphere into a gas chamber by burning stubble is also not a crime, in my opinion. Making an anarchist toolkit that doesn't call for or result in direct physical violence is also not a crime. As a free speech absolutist, Rahul, it goes without saying that I stand with this brainwashed so-called environmental activists' right to carry out all of the above. I repeat for the nth time, yes, we are a democracy and yes, we have dissent, but we don't have a constitution that respects either. Our constitution has spawned draconian laws and articles and amendments that, rather than protect the rights of the dissenter, protect those who violate the rights of the dissenter. Everything is grey, everything is subject to something, everything is prime for offending religious sensibilities or waging a war. And one of the most draconian laws is that of sedition. All governments past and present have used it, are using it to kill dissent. In my view, sedition should be considered unlawful only if it is attached to an imminent, verifiable, palpable threat to India. Let's now take this case. In my opinion, there is nothing in the toolkit that poses an imminent threat to India or calls for violence to the best of my knowledge. However, what if the makers of the toolkit were collaborating with banned terror organizations or were funded by banned terror outfits? Now that is certainly worthy of investigation, and I suppose that is why it is the magistrate who has remanded this woman into judicial custody. Finally, a little about the Congress clowns jumping silly. Rahul, please give me 30 seconds. No other government in independent India has charged and jailed more activists for sedition than them. In 2011, police under Congress arrested 60 tribals and Dalits, including the Dalit activist and editor Sudhir Davale, under UAPA and sedition charges. He spent 40 months in jail before being acquitted. Activist Vernon Gonzalez was arrested and convicted under UAPA when Congress was in power. 8,000 protesters and environmental activists were charged with sedition during the UP in a single act during the Kudankulam protest. Chidambaram called them anti-national, quote unquote, but today he stands with them. What cannot be cured must be endured, and that goes for both the Congress and the anarchists. Only difference being one has a tool, the other a toolkit.
Well,
Okay.
I think what Dr. Anand Ranganathan is saying here, viewers, is making a distinction. If someone has been found to be collaborating with banned outfits or individuals proscribed or sympathetic to the breakup of India, then those individuals must be investigated irrespective of what their age is, given the fact that we are talking all about adults here. We're not talking about a 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, or even a 14-year-old or a 16-year-old. We're talking about somebody who has had a fairly good education and is an adult in their own right. Yes, doctor. Yes. Yes, doctor. You wanted to make a point. Yeah. You wanted to complete. Yes.
Yeah, so yes, very quickly. So yes, just to complete what I was saying, for example, we all heard Dr. Sumant Raman, he's very aggrieved, but I want to say this. Let us say, I fully support Dr. Sumant Raman's right to be very critical of the government on CA, on any other policy.
Yeah.
But would he say that he does not merit investigation by the police if the document he was working on, or he was funded by, let us say, SIMI or Hizbul Mujahideen or any other banned terror outfit?
That's why we also invite Dr. Sumant
Anand
Raman. I know a large
worthy of
number of viewers get
investigation.
irritated, but we have no problems with his views as long as, of course, he has clear bond. I'll come back to you. Doctor, I'll come back to you. I'm taking a break. I'm coming right back to you in 2 minutes. Dr. Sumant C. Raman's response to Dr. Ranganathan in 2 minutes. We're coming right back. Viewers, as you know, the Delhi police has been under pressure for the last 48 hours after they effected the arrest of Disha Ravi. The police have come out and alleged that Disha Ravi was part of a conspiracy to design a toolkit to spread disaffection against the government of the day, which is, of course, the Narendra Modi NDA government, and to instigate violence against the government. They allege that they have huge amounts of digital data. What exactly it is, they haven't told us, but the investigation is on. They said they had to also take her into custody because one of her co-accused, an individual called Nikita, disappeared after a day of questioning, and they were fearful that Disha might also do the same. Now, I want to open this up because Dr. Anand Ranganathan said very clearly on the show before the break that he's making a distinction in this particular case. While he has no problems with any of these individuals putting out a toolkit in the very important pursuance of free speech, and neither does he think, reading the fine print right now, that any imminent danger was posed. He does have a problem. He does have a problem because some of these individuals, if the police are to be believed and if they can adduce the evidence to prove their claims, were designing this toolkit in consultation with an individual who supports a separatist cause, who sits in Canada and defines himself as a Khalistani, committed to the breakup of India, and is part and parcel of a larger ecosystem that is comprised of proscribed terror groups as well as individuals who are wanted by India. So that's the distinction he has sought to draw. Dr. Suman C. Raman wants to come in on this. Dr. Suman C. Raman, do you still have a problem? If Disha, if Disha was,
30 seconds.
1 second, if the police, what they have said, the question is, please listen to the question because it flows straight from what Dr. Anand Ranganathan has said. Dr. Suman C. Raman, if it turns out that this Zoom chat did take place and these people were collaborating with individuals who are, by their own confession, admission, rallying to break up this country, would you be willing to see this case in a different light? Simple question to you.
Rahul, simple answer. If this person was, if Disha Ravi was found to be collaborating with a banned organization or a proscribed terrorist organization or individual, I have absolutely no problems with the police action having been taken against her. This Poetic Justice Foundation, is it a banned organization? Is Mr.
With due respect, that's what I said.
Designated terrorist? I don't know. The point is, if they are not already proscribed as...
Okay, so you're saying that they're not proscribed, so let's not get so
I don't know.
worked up. Okay.
Look,
So for you speaking with someone like Gilani, let's take an example. I'm coming to you, Sai Deepak. I'm coming to you in just 30 seconds. If someone was collaborating with someone called... 1 second. If someone was collaborating with someone called...
No. Look.
Okay, 1 minute. Allow me. Okay, allow me. I'm just trying to explain to the viewer what you're trying to say.
I fully agree with you.
Okay, so what you're saying is that if an organization was of the nature of the Hurriyat Conference, which subscribes to the Azadi of Jammu and Kashmir, if individuals were fraternizing with them or echoing their propaganda, no problems because they're not proscribed under Indian law. That's what you're trying to suggest. Okay, 1 minute. Let me get in Sai Deepak.
Of SDPI.
Okay, Sai Deepak advocate wants to come in. Okay, let the others have a chance, sir. Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Somebody is talking to SDPI, you can't call them as anti-national.
Okay. Yes, Sai Deepak. Go ahead, Sai Deepak. You put yourself on mute, Sai Deepak. I think you're on mute. Unmute yourself. Mr. Sai Deepak, unmute yourself.
Can I come in, Rahul?
Yes. I think he's on mute. Is he on mute?
Rahul, can I come in?
Nizam Bhai, can you give me an update on this? Is he on mute? Okay, we don't have him right now. 30 seconds, I'm being told. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, response from you.
Rahul Saab, allow me to come in.
1 minute, MC Abbas, relax.
One sentence.
Yes.
What the concern Suman C. Raman ji is raising, actually the people who support on this side having no concern of that, what he is saying. Forget about this. I am just quoting the case in which the court has properly executed, given a judgment. Have you accepted? The UPA government, not our government. UPA government has hanged Afzal Guru, and you say Afzal Harat Kamara, 2 ministers. Who is right? UPA government says that 26/11 was conducted by Hafiz Saeed, and a senior Congress MP says it is done by RSS. Who is correct? The UPA IB chief says, IB chief of the UPA government says, Ishrat Jahan is a terrorist, and the leader says Ishrat Jahan is a Bihar ki beti. So I want to say, this is a false premise which you are trying to bring up. You are thoroughly exposed in that, even in your government, even in the UPA government, whatever the action is being taken.
Okay, let's not speak over each other.
What I want to say, you have to take always side of the terror accused whether they are in process of conviction or they have been convicted.
Okay. Let me bring in Sai Deepak, advocate. He wants to come in on this. Everyone, please silence. We are bringing in Sai Deepak. Yes, Mr. Deepak, go ahead. Let's lower everyone's fader if they are not willing to adhere to the rules of the debate and the engagement tonight.
Just 30 seconds, please.
Yes. Go ahead.
The question and the red flag raised by Dr. Suman C. Raman is a red herring for all practical purposes. As a quiz master, I think Dr. Suman C. Raman should simply go through the provisions of the UAPA Act. There are two specific aspects of that particular legislation. The first aspect is of unlawful association, but the second aspect is that of a terrorist act. You only need to go through section 15 of that particular legislation to understand the breadth with which terrorist act has been defined. Poetic Justice Foundation need not be a proscribed body. It need not be a forbidden body. It need not be a banned body. If Poetic Justice Act supports a movement such as a secessionist movement, which is the Khalistani movement, and it supports a certain activity in Bharat which promotes that particular movement, and anybody who takes part in that particular act automatically falls within the definition of a terrorist act, and there are specific provisions dealing with who is treated as a conspirator for the purposes of a terrorist act within the meaning of that particular legislation. Therefore, the point is very, very simple. If a certain organization undertakes an activity which has the intention or effect of destroying public property or creating any disharmony or creating any kind of sentiment which is anti-India, and somebody decides to participate in that particular activity, notwithstanding the fact that the organization is not a banned organization, that person who participates in it is indulging on the face of it, according to the law, in a terrorist activity. That is the definition under section 15. Dr. Suman C. Raman is under the mistaken assumption that as long as the PJF is not forbidden, any person who takes part in any activity along with the PJF is perfectly taking part in a legitimate activity or a legal activity. That is not the law. He needs to simply go through the provision. This is a red herring of the first order which has no basis in the black letter of the law. That's the straight answer to his question. It has no basis whatsoever.
Okay, doctor.
What is the meaning of creating sentiment, sir? It's such a subjective thing. That is what Dr. Anand Ranganathan said. These laws are draconian. Yes.
That is for the court to decide. Are you the judge? That is for the court to decide. Are you even a trained lawyer to make this particular point? Are you a trained lawyer to make this particular? You started off with the assumption that since the PJF is not a banned activity, there is. I'm saying you don't even have common sense here because you proceeded on the assumption. You proceeded on the assumption that as long as the Poetic Justice Foundation is not a banned organization, there is nothing that they do which is illegal. I'm saying your entire basis, your entire premise, your entire assumption is flawed. You did not even have any knowledge that there is a specific definition of a terrorist act under this particular legislation. The Poetic Justice Foundation need not be a banned activity for Disha Ravi to be accused of terrorist acts. If you don't know the law, I would suggest that you stick to your subject. I'm sorry, you have no idea what you're talking. That is for the court to decide. That is for the court to decide. If there's a specific language that is used in the statute, it's not for you to comment on it because you started off on the assumption that there is absolutely no legal basis. I am saying that there is a basis, an arguable basis in the black letter of the law. Whether there's a sentiment or not, I'm sorry, yours is an uninformed comment. Then take back your argument because you proceeded with the assumption that there is absolutely no basis in the law unless and until PJF is a banned activity. You had no idea in the first place that there is a definition for a terrorist act in the UAPA. You started off with the assumption that as long as the organization is not banned, there is nothing that can be done. Your question is fundamentally uninformed and ignorant. There I say it. You had no idea that there is a definition for terrorist activity. Whether there is a sentiment or disaffection, that's for the court to decide. You have no idea what you're talking about. Please. Here is a lady. She specifically says herself that her activities could land her in the trouble because she knew that her activities were within the teeth of the law. She herself knew that she was attracting UAPA. Are you telling me that you know better than Disha Ravi, who clearly understood the consequences of her activities? She herself said in the WhatsApp communication that she could be attracting the UAPA. She was absolutely aware. So therefore, I would suggest that you please stop this for a moment because you have no idea what you're talking about. I am not saying she's guilty or not. On what basis are you saying that there is absolutely no? You started off by saying that there is no basis for the activity that has been undertaken by the police. You said the police did not have any basis at all, and you started off by saying that unless and until you said that the organization is not banned, and therefore there is no basis. I'm clearly telling you that there need not be a ban against the PJF before an action is taken against Disha Ravi or anybody else. Nikita Jacob and everybody else can be prosecuted against under the law. Since you do not know what the law is, I would suggest that you please do not lose your dignity in this particular public platform because you have no idea what you're talking about. You may be a quiz master, but you're not a specialist in this particular subject. So kindly stick to your particular speciality. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, doctor, rein it in. You know, you're taking on somebody who understands the law, who's a student of the law, and goes to court on a daily basis. You know, you are a doctor.
So what?
One second, calm down.
Talking about.
Calm down, doctor. You said that as long as the person is not fraternizing with anybody who is banned, like the SDPI, etc., it's all okay. Now he is pointing out Arey bhai, sun to lo. You can be sometimes wrong, Dr. Raman. You're not been given the providence of wisdom.
I agree, Rahul. If somebody is
entirely, it can happen that sometimes people can get it wrong. It's okay to be wrong sometimes.
Be called a terrorist. Good luck.
It's okay to be. It's okay. Okay, one second. Oh my God.
Lie has been caught in public and his ignorance has been exposed. He just can't seem to tolerate it.
Let's open this up. One second. Dr. Ranganathan, yes, you wanted to come in here. Yes. Yeah. Coming to you, MC Abbas. Coming to you. We're not running out of time. Relax. Yes.
Yes. Very quickly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, very quickly, Dr. Sumant Raman, with due respect, he knows someone who knows the law, whereas J. Sai Deepak knows the law. And, I already categorized what I said with a caveat, which is that I may find most of the laws that spawn out of our constitution as draconian. I do. But that is my view. That doesn't mean those laws are not applicable. So J. Sai Deepak is absolutely right. Because the laws are delving into the territory which I call grey, that doesn't mean they are not applicable. Certainly they are. And Disha, for one, realized it. That is why she was scared that she might be held under UAPA. It is as simple as that. So
let me bring in
J. Sai 1, Sumant Raman 0.
Yes, that unfortunately is the case here. MC Abbas, let me bring you in. If Disha allegedly could warn others about the possible action under UPA, her actions could attract and force those people, in this case Greta Thunberg, to delete a tweet. Could she not have known the possible consequences of her own alleged actions, Mr. MC Abbas?
Certainly, Rahul Saab. As a matter of fact, on the Times of India, I was reading an article written by you about the protesting farmers who have to worry more than the farm laws. They need to worry on the agenda of the supporters. Allow me 45 seconds, sir, to prove you that Disha Ravi is not the one with the agenda. First things first, what is the toolkit that we speak about?
Sir, one second. Just back up. MC Abbas, is it a fact or not a fact that Disha Ravi in her WhatsApp, and I can show you that WhatsApp, it's on our screen, says, look, this particular toolkit can attract provisions under the UAPA. Can you not tweet the toolkit at all? Can we just not say anything for a while? Let's press the continue button. That's right. Here, I'm going to talk to lawyers. I'm sorry, but our names are on it. Let's go to the next one. We can literally get UAPA against us. She knew that this act of hers could attract one of the most, quote unquote, draconian provisions of the law. Now, having said that, sir, said that, will you still say that she was not aware of the possible consequences of her own alleged actions? And if she wasn't aware, why was she calling upon her friend Greta Thunberg, co-collaborator, call her what you want to, partner in the environment movement, to delete this particular toolkit and the message with it? Can you answer that question, MC Abbas?
30 seconds, I'll answer you direct to the point. Disha Ravi is not a student of the law like our friend Sai Deepak here. She said literally UAPA. Let me address quickly to Sai Deepak, and please educate me on this. Why didn't the duty magistrate of the Patiala House Court allow a legal aid or a counsel to Disha Ravi without allowing you send her to straight 5 days of police custody? Is that fair? Isn't it the violation of Article 22 of the Constitution? I'll just
I'll
let you
answer
know,
this
10
question.
seconds.
I'll answer this question.
Deepak, just 10 seconds.
I'll
Please
answer this
educate
question.
me.
Custody.
You're a student of the law. Kindly
Happy
answer
to
me.
answer this question.
Why wasn't
Happy
she,
to
just
answer
5
this
seconds,
question.
I conclude. Why wasn't she allowed a legal aid? Why no counsel when under the Article 22
Happy
of the
to answer this
Constitution?
question.
She needs to
Second,
be allowed.
the police themselves have put out a statement. 1 second, viewers.
Happy to answer this question.
1 second. Before I come out to you, Sai Deepak, just give me 30 seconds. I'm reading
She was
out.
given an opportunity to get out to her lawyer. She was asked to reach the lawyer.
Yes, I'm just reading out the police statement on this point. 1 minute. On this point, the police statement. Her arrest was made in the presence of her mother and local police. Her lawyer was informed and she was produced before the Honorable Court as per established procedures. In the court, she was represented by a lawyer and the same finds mentioned in the Honorable Court's order. Sai Deepak, would you like to respond?
Brilliant. I think you've made the point. I have nothing more to say. When people actually proceed on the basis that this particular person did not even get representation, one person basically says that there is absolutely no provision in the law for this particular activity. The other person says that no lawyer was given an opportunity to represent this particular lady or she did not get legal representation. It's clear that none of them actually are even aware of the basic facts of this particular case and they're actually riding their high horses. They must get off their high horses and get to the facts. The facts don't support them. They're aware of it. I have nothing more to say.
Hello, sir. You didn't answer my question. Why wasn't she provided legal aid? When a lawyer couldn't reach the court on time, why didn't the duty magistrate allow her a counsel?
Did you even hear what Rahul Shivshankar just read out? Or are you on a different planet
the
altogether?
police statement, sir.
Are you on a different planet altogether? She
The
was
police have gone on
represented in
record.
court,
Let me bring in Kanish Singh, General Secretary of the Bhim Army, Delhi. Kanik Singh, I just want to ask you the same question.
अंग्रेजी समझ में नहीं आती है आप उनको हिंदी का अनुवाद दीजिए या उर्दू में एक्चुअल का तर्जुमन करवाइए. I don't think he understands English. Please ask him to.
Okay, I'm not saying.
I have one thing to say.
Yes, sir.
Is this a fashion?
Go ahead, Kanish Singh, go
The
ahead.
biggest democracy,
पुलिस
Yeah.
का स्टेटमेंट ये कह रहा है.
in the biggest democracy in India, BJP being the biggest party, this government is just a kaya and a dire sarkar. That's all I want to say. Because from 45 minutes I'm hearing everyone. I just want to say this government is a kaya and a dire sarkar. What they are doing is they are leaking out everything. I'm not safe in my house. My WhatsApp chat, it's not safe in the house. Activist groups, it's not
Kanish
safe.
Singh, that's
Nothing
all
is
very
safe
well.
in
I
this
want to
country.
ask you a question, sir. Let's restrict ourselves to this particular case. I don't want to hear a general, statement on your psychosis. So let's just stick to this particular case. This is about Disha's arrest.
Yeah, but I just
I'm
want
asking
to
you
put
a
my point
question.
as well because I'm
You know,
hearing
1
everyone
second, you
from
might
last
have your
15 minutes.
psychosis, you might be paranoid, you might be of some vague disposition I can't put my finger on, and I don't want to be in judgment of your disposition. Go see somebody who can help you out for that. But I just want to ask you, on this point of Disha's arrest, what is your exact objection on this point? Please, go ahead.
No, I just want to say this. That this time, it's not anything, it's just BJP versus the Yuva.
Okay,
Before it was
BJP versus Yuva. Dr. Sudhanshu
the
Trivedi,
activists,
that's what it's coming
and
down
now
to.
it's
You don't
BJP
like the
versus
Yuva.
That's
You
all I
don't
wanna
like
say.
the woke. You
Yeah.
don't like the woke Yuva of this country. You have a problem with them. You want to muzzle them. A response to you, sir.
Rahul, he is saying that she was a Yuva and Congress is saying she was a Bachcha, whom I should consider correct. So he is contradicting the Congress. And as far as Bhim Army is concerned, there is an inherent contradiction in their name itself. Because Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar has considered Mahatma Buddha as his God. And Bhagwan Buddha is known for establishing Shanti. सम्राट अशोक ने तो आर्मी खत्म कर दी थी भाई भगवान बुद्ध की शिक्षाओं के बाद और आपने भीम आर्मी बना रखी है तो बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर का कितना बड़ा मजाक आपने बना रखा है भीम आर्मी शब्द के साथ जिनके आराध्य भगवान बुद्ध
Well, viewers, let me tell you, irrespective of the police.
Baba Sahib Ambedkar
Okay, one second. Irrespective of the police statement today, let me tell you, viewers.
Rahul, 10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds. I really have only 10 seconds. Yes.
Yes, very quickly, Sudhanshu ji, आप थोड़ा सा गलत हैं because according to True Indology as well as Sanjeev Sanyal, Ashoka was already Buddhist before he waged that horrible war in Kalinga.
नहीं वो भी बात है अशोकावदान में लिखा हुआ है कि वो पहले बुद्धिस्ट हो चुका था.
Okay, gentlemen, look, at the end of the day, the police are going to find it very difficult, arrayed against a large number of groups, including the opposition, to justify this arrest if they do not or are not able to produce the evidence on which they are relying in the next few days, or at least in the next 5 days, that they have custody in court. It's the police that is on test, their reputation on test, and by extension, all of those that are supporting the police are also on test. So we just have to wait it out. Unfortunate turn of events, you might call it. The police say they have a case. Let's see what they have. And then we can all sit in judgment. We are coming right back after this break. Top stories on the show this hour, viewers.